of our listeners who continue to pray for us and support us. Oftentimes, I'm walking down the street and someone asks, Deacon Hawks, El Presidente, I want to help. I want to get involved. I want to do my part. And they say, how can I do that? And I say, you know something? You can log onto our website and participate in our 8 for 88.7. That's right, 8 for 88.7.
Gospel 88.7 WEHA. It's more than music. It's ministry.
WEHA, Port Republic, Atlantic City. And now on FM Translator 100.3 W262CF, Atlantic City, Pleasantville.
Do you have an event coming up and need a facility? Well, let me tell you about Atlantic County's newest banquet facility, Beacon Hall, located in the heart of Egg Harbor City, right off the White Horse Pike. Beacon Hall is a full-service banquet facility that is 5,000 square feet with an attached parking lot. Book your conferences, book signings, birthday parties, bridal showers, baby showers, weddings, repasts. No event is too big or too small. You can book your next event by calling us at 609-965-4255 or email us at bookbeaconhall@gmail.com. That's BOOKBEACONHALL @gmail.com. Beacon Hall, where we turn moments into cherished memories.
It's a new year, and it's time to get activated. The Atlantic City NAACP will host a 30-minute radio show every Tuesday at 5 p.m. on WEHA. Informative guests, current affairs, local topics, and up-to-date information will be provided. Join us every Tuesday at 5 p.m. because when we fight, we win.
All right. This is Evangelist Laniel right here on WEHA. We have gospel. Listen in to William Murphy. Let the glory of the Lord rise among us. All right. Here we go.
Let the songs of the Lord rise among us. Let the songs of the Lord rise among us. Let the joy of our King rise among us. Let it rise. Oh, let it rise. Say, oh, somebody say, let it rise. Yeah. Come on, everybody. Let the glory of the Lord rise among us. Let the glory of the Lord rise among us. Let the praises of our King, I want them to rise among us. Yeah. Sing it again. Let the glory of the Lord rise among us. I'm desperate for you. I'm thirsty for you. Let the praises of my King rise. Oh. Somebody open up your mouth and cry. Oh. Say, let it rise. Ah, come on, if you want it, lift up your hands, Zion, and cry out. Oh. Oh. Yeah. Let it rise. Come on, let the songs of the Lord, let the songs of the Lord, come on, rise. Let the songs of the Lord rise. Let the joy of my
right, all right, all right. I hope you heard that. Let the glory of the Lord rise among us. Let the praises of our King rise among us. Let it rise. This is Evangelist Lanyel right here on WEHA. We have gospel. We are Christ-centered, community-focused, listener-supported radio station, 88.7 FM and 100.3 FM in Atlantic City. Listen, if you are enjoying these prayer segments, if you are enjoying what you are hearing on the radio and you like these noonday prayers, would you be a sponsor for me? Would you be a sponsor for that segment, or would you send in a love gift or a donation saying, I needed that prayer today? Thank you for praying for us. And send it into the radio station. It does not come to me. It goes to the radio station. And how do you do that? You can go to www.wehavegospel.com, hit that donate button, and it's for the radio station to keep the radio station going on. Hey, Prophet Reed. And so also on top of that, you can go to the Facebook page. It'll send you a link that you can donate. You can come to 3 Canali Drive and send in your donations, or come bring your donations to the front desk. 3 Canali Drive, Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey, 08234. Yes, yes, yes. Listen, we have been in prayer from midnight to 12 noon every single day. And this is not something that just popped up because of the epidemic or what has been going on in our world. We have been doing prayer for the last over 14 years now. Or live or on the radio, or just moving from ministry to ministry doing prayer summits and different things like that. So we do know that prayer works, okay? We want to send a shout out to Apostle Karen Johnson, who is on her healing bed, God is redeeming her body and bringing it back into order again. We want to send a shout out to that woman of God. We also want to send a shout out to Cora Green, Vanetta Dugan, Apostle O'Mel Reed, Donna Davis, Deacon Lenny Dublin. That is the man. Cyril Stanley, Nikki Rice, my cousin, Monisa Parker, V. Hawk, Pastor Joseph M. Pfeiffer, Kiki Walker, Sister Olivia Colvin, Janelle Allen Austin, Vanetta Presley, Mona Epps, Takia Robbins out of Trenton, New Jersey, Bernell Snell, Charlene Brake, I've already said Apostle Karen Johnson, David Lewis Jr., Bonia Owens, please, I'm not good with names. Megan Curtis, Mother Margaret Coleman, Pastor Leslie Montgomery. Who else is on here? There's so many. Megan Curtis, did I say that? And Prophetess Tracy Crossland, and Toya Beckett. Brenda Jenkins, God bless every last one of you. Reverend Duncan Lane, I know you are listening in to him and his wife's radio segment on Sundays. What a powerful segment. I looked in and I saw that. Prophetess, Pastor Virginia Booth out of Philadelphia, God bless you. Sister Yaron Royal from Evangelical Bishop Jerkins Church, God bless you. And Sister Mona Epps, we thank God for every last one of you. This is the day that the Lord has made. My sister, my childhood friend Tugger Morgan, we thank God for you. And so this is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it, all right? And so yesterday we prayed over some water before we started. Let's pray again. Get you a bottle of water every day this week so that we can pray and you would hold your water and you would give this water. So let's give it to God. Now, Father, take all impurities out of this water. We give it to you as a healing agent. We ask that you would take anything that is in the water that is not of you and use it as a miraculous work, that as we drink, you will delete, destroy, deplete, demolish anything in our systems trying to go through our systems. You will flush it out of our systems in the name of Jesus. This water is yours. Use it as you would have it to be. And we give you praise and we give you glory and we give you honor. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen and amen. All right, go ahead and drink that water. Go ahead and drink that water for a few seconds. Give me a minute because I'm going to take a drink my own self. All right, so we did that. We thank God for the healing of our bodies. Hallelujah. And we thank God Um, we thank God for doing what He is doing. God is a miracle worker. Can I get a witness somewhere? Can somebody say that? God is a miracle worker. We want to thank all of you that are tuning in from the radio, from your homes, from the internet, wherever you are, that you are listening in to this word. I know that's right. Somebody over there came in and put some water in there and said, Lord, touch the water in the name of Jesus. That's right. I know that's right. Healing, deliverance, and breakthrough. Sister Anita, Sister Prophetess Pastor Pamela, my sister Kwana Barnes, my Islamic sister. That's right. That's right. Hallelujah. We're not calling on a religion. We're calling on humanity. Huh? He said, if my people, which are called by my name, would humble themselves and pray. He didn't say a title. He just said, people, come on together and pray. Hallelujah. And so, Tiffany, we thank God for you. Crystal, we thank God for you. And so, Bernice Snell, we thank God for you. So let me say this. Last night at our midnight prayer, oh my goodness. And before I go into prayer, oh my goodness, that prayer, God came into that prayer yesterday. And matter of fact, let me pray that same prayer. God, don't let my personality manipulate the anointing, manipulate the atmosphere, manipulate or tickle anybody's emotions. But God, you step in, you speak and have your way. Speak, Lord, for thy servant heareth, God, in the name of Jesus. We give you praise. And so last night on that midnight call, oh my goodness, if you don't know anything about it, WHA is tagged into it, so you can go to that page. And we do a midnight call, shifting over into a new day. I believe that when we speak, activation happens, but it's called the law of attraction. What you put out got to come back to you, right? And so life and death is in the power of the tongue. But if you speak negative, what's going to come back? Negativity. But if you speak positive, what's going to come back? Positivity. So we speak to our new day. We speak to the morning. We speak to the hours, the minutes, the seconds that are coming forth. And so with that being said, last night, I was in prayer before I went into prayer at midnight. And you might say, oh, gosh, she's so super spiritual. Let me tell you something. I just love being in the presence of the Lord. I love sitting and just listening to him and not having nothing to say. I love when he downloads. And so yesterday, I got a phone call from my father. I believe it's Isaiah 26. I forgot the scripture, the verse, but it was Isaiah 26. And it was talking about the day of yesterday, how the word of God was saying, go in, shut the door, stay there for a while, let the Lord do what he has to do, clean the earth and move forward, right? And so then we went from Isaiah to the Shunammite woman when the prophet had prophesied this baby, and I'm paraphrasing all the way around, but you'll get the gist of the story. When the prophet had prophesied to the Shunammite woman a baby, because she had made chambers for him to stay every time he would come in and out of her community when he would minister and go. So she made a chamber for him, and he being used by the Lord because he was a prophet, and he was able, and God was downloaded. That's right, 26 and 20, Isaiah 26 and 20. But the Shunammite woman, she made a chamber for the man of God. She saw that he needed somewhere to stay, and going down to the next portion of the story of what I'm getting ready to tell you is that she made a chamber for him to stay. He said, because you are taking so good care of me, what is it that you need? And she said, I don't need nothing. I just want to make sure that the man of God is right. And so he looks around. He don't see no pitter patter, no children in the establishment in her home. So he prophesied that it would come to pass. And by that time that he prophesied, it came to pass. She had a son. The son grew old. Then he died. And the father sent the son back to the mother. And the son died. And he had a headache. Oh, my head. And I'm just going on ranting, but she put the baby into the room where she laid for the man of God. She put the dead baby who passed away in the room, in her arms, in the room where she laid for the man of God. And what did she do? She shut the door. Isaiah 26:20 said, shut the door. The prophet, the Shunammite woman's story, shut the door. And so with all of that being said, after she shut the door, she went down to where the man of God was. He sent a servant, his servant, to go back to where the dead baby was. Now let me tell you something, just in case you missed midnight prayer last night. Hallelujah. Your darkest day does not mean that the promises are not manifesting. My God, let me say something to you. Although situations look dead, does not mean that it's dead in this natural sense. I'm going to prophesy and say that your situation that looks dim, your situation that looks dead, everything around you seems dreary, everything around you seems like it's not going to get better, but it's gotten worse. It looks dead. Let me tell you something, your promise is not dead. Just say it's resting right now. It's sleeping. It's taking a rest. Hallelujah. And so I'm going to get all into that right there. And so then after that, she said, you can send him, but I need you to come because you spoke it out of your mouth, that this baby. And I know God did not give me a promise to lead me here, something I didn't ask for, but he brought it into my life, And so the man of God had to go back eye to eye, nose to nose, mouth to mouth, and the baby's body that was cold waxed warm, and the baby came back to life. My God, who am I talking to today that you feel as though you might have been tampered with sickness? You might have been tampered with because now you're in the unemployment line. You might have been tampered with. Hallelujah. Now that you got to call the people and tell the people, I need help with my mortgage. I need money. I need somebody to help me with my car payment. I need things to happen for me and my children because of the shifting of the earth. I'm here to tell you, hold on. God is in the midst of us. Hallelujah. Everything that was prophesied over you, everything that was spoken of goodwill to you, everything that God has for you, hallelujah, it has not disseminated. Hallelujah. If he spoke it, it shall come to pass. Hallelujah. He's merging our Kairos and our Kairos together. Hallelujah. And he is making an impact here on earth. I know it don't look like it because the world is going through COVID-19 or because somebody else is going through cancer, and we are not taking that for light, and nor are we dwindling, hallelujah, the prayers of the righteous that need to pray concerning this. And now not only we talking about being shut in, but look at this, in Isaiah 26:20, they had to shut the door. So that means, hallelujah, hallelujah, in this now time, now that they're telling you, go to your house, stay in your house, hallelujah, and shut the door. Come on. If it was in the word of God, why can't it be with you? If the woman of God, the Shunammite woman, laid her promise that God prophesied to her into the chambers which she had for the man of God, and she had to shut the door, even though the promise looked dead, I'm saying it was just rusting, hallelujah, and she shut the door. What makes you think because they're asking for you to go into your homes to be settled for a couple of weeks, what makes you think that you're not supposed to go in and shut the door? So it be in the spiritual, so it be in the natural. Come on, obey the laws of the land. Why is God telling us to shut the door? He is rejuvenating us. He is sending us strength. He is giving us what we need for the next dispensation of time. He is doing it now. He is sterilizing. He is allowing you to repent from our wicked ways. He is allowing us to repent from the 10 commandments that we did not fulfill. Do not kill, do not steal, do not put any other gods before you. Come on, Zion, all of the 10 commandments, and we did everything but what he has placed in front of us. Now we are in this place of solitude. So now he is doing something with us. You gotta pray. I shut down the casino, and I'm not taking that for a joke or anything. I shut down things in this world that your flesh was getting so so enjoyment with, and you were putting me on a back burner, and I am God. You should have sought me first before you touched it. You should have sought me first before you said it. You should have sought me first before you went anywhere. And because you have not sought him first, now he got you to where you got to seek him. You got to seek him going to the grocery store. You got to seek him wherever you go. And guess what? God is so God. My God, he's so God. It's not a respected person that is exempt from the shutdown that is happening on this earthly realm. I don't care if you're light skinned. I don't care if you're dark, black, purple, as they call it. I don't care if you're brown skinned. I don't care if you're whatever color you are, whatever nationality you are, whatever size you are, if you're small, if you're in between, if you're big, if you're obese, hallelujah, if you got money, if you don't got money, all of us are in the same boat together, my God. But what happens when we collectively come together, hallelujah, and start praying? He said, if my people, which are called by my name, hallelujah, will humble themselves and pray, seek my face. He didn't say, if the title people. He didn't say, if Bishop Tutu. He didn't say, Prophet so-so. He didn't say, evangelist. He said, everybody. If everybody would just start praying, if everybody would get on one accord, if everybody would go into their chambers, shut the door, and let me deal with them, deal with the illegal activities from every demonic influence on this earthly realm, what will happen? If my people, and I'm just reminded, and I say it every night, hallelujah, that at midnight, Paul and Silas prayed. That's why we do a midnight prayer and a noonday prayer, 12 and 12, right? 12 and 12. Hallelujah. That's why we do a noonday prayer. 12 and 12. See, at midnight, Paul and Silas, they prayed, and every man's bands were loose. Hallelujah. And at noonday, hallelujah, we decree and we declare that whatever is infecting this earthly realm, wherever these things are coming from, whatever area they're coming from, wherever COVID-19 is laying, that it would disseminate, that it would be dismantled, the strength of it would lose its power. Lungs will open up again. Mucus will go from out of the body. Respiratory systems will be healed, delivered, and set free. You got to understand the powerful God that we are. So I don't know who I'm talking to right now, and I don't mean to scream, but I'm just getting excited. Hallelujah. Because I know that the weapons of our warfare, hallelujah, they're mighty, but God, through the pulling down of God, come on, we got to pull down some stuff. Pull down your bitterness. Pull down your high-minded self. Pull down those lies. Pull down all of those things up in your atmosphere that you've been living with. Hallelujah. And you call it, oh, I'm just living here. And you're not adjusting your atmosphere. God, why are we asking God for miracles and we living in foolishness? Come on, Zion. Come on, people of God. This is the time to adjust your spirit. Okay, you home and you home with your kids. This is the time for you to get back into family order. Okay, you might be by yourself, but the Bible says we're never alone. He'll never leave us nor forsake us. Come on, Zion. Hallelujah. Who am I talking to today? Who am I talking to today? You need to take a drink of water on that. And let God rejuvenate your spirit. Come on, drink. Come on to drink. Because let me tell you something. I know it looks like this situation is deep, right? And it is deep. Somebody told me on last night, they called and said, well, they expect over 200,000 people to die. And you know what I said? I expect 200,000 people to live. And you got to speak against what they're saying, even on the news. You got to learn how to form your words and to go back, hallelujah, and combat what you see. Because really what you see, hallelujah, it is what you see, but you got to go into the spiritual realm and combat it to shift. Oh my God, shift. When the news say, hallelujah, this many people is going to be on unemployment for this amount of time, you need to go back and say, well, this many people will not be on unemployment for this amount of time because God is our supplier. Oh my God. Hallelujah. This many people are losing their jobs. This many people are losing their homes. This many people don't have food. Well, this many people have jobs. This many people are keeping their homes. This many people their cupboards shall not go barren. Huh? You got to learn how to do some stuff. Somebody ought to be on here just to testify to somebody and say, I seen him do it and I know he'll do it again. I don't know when the time of release will come, but I do know that it is sure to come. You better say that. Shift. Just do what they told you to do. If they told you to go in the house and only come out for your essentials, do what you have to do, okay? I went out today to assist someone because they didn't have a car. So I didn't get out my car. I just went to the school, got the baby's lunch, got their schoolwork, dropped it off at the person's door, and I kept going. Only do help those around you if you're able to, but keep going. Don't stand and linger around. Keep your proper distance away from each other, but believe that God has subdued you with the healing balm of Gilead, that whatever atmosphere that you obtain, that whatever grocery store you go to, that whoever's in your face, in your space, that the glory will sanitize you, but as it sanitizes you, it will permeate out, and that healing will hit our land. That's the way I'm thinking. That's the way I'm thinking. And we are praying, hallelujah, for so many people. We are praying for a 14-day-old baby who is laying in the hospital fighting for her life with meningitis. We decree and we declare that she is healed, that she delivered, and that she is set free. We're praying for Apostle Karen Johnson, hallelujah, that is already being healed, that is already being delivered, that has already been set free, that the lungs are expanding, and that the pneumonia will loose her body by the blood of Jesus Christ. In the name of Jesus, we are praying for those that are laying on their bed of affliction right now, that you will be healed, that you will be delivered, and that you will be set free. We are praying for people that are dealing with their homes, shut in their homes, afraid to go out, hallelujah, afraid to speak to people, afraid to do anything. We are praying, hallelujah, that fear will not be your portion, but obedience will be your portion. In the name of Jesus, we're praying for asthmatic people. We're praying for obesity people. Hey, we are praying in the name of Jesus, hallelujah, for those that the symptoms would be so close to. In the name of Jesus, we are praying for those that have lost loved ones, that are grieving right now, don't understand. They were just in the pulpit and now, whoa, what happened, God? Hallelujah. I pray in the name of Jesus that the strength of the Lord would be your portion and that peace would be all around you. I decree and I declare that the days that are coming, the hours that are coming, the minutes that are coming are days and hours and minutes of miracles, signs and wonders. We speak it into the land. We speak that God will have an antidote. If they don't have an antidote in the natural, that the healing balm will saturate our atmospheres, saturate our communities, saturate where we live, where we breathe, and where we move. In the name of Jesus, we decree and we declare that the best is yet to come. Eyes haven't seen, nor have ears heard what he has prepared for us. We're getting ready for the biggest time in our life. We've never seen it happen like this before. We've never seen miracles just shift in the name of Jesus. We've never seen God's hand. He's going to do something different that we've never experienced before in this earthly realm. And so I want to encourage every last one of you. Father, we thank you and we praise you. We give you glory, we give you honor. Every person that is listening in now, every person that is going through, every person that is dealing with any kind of element in their bodies, that God, that you would strengthen them, that you would give them the ability to move, hallelujah, that their limbs will not lose strength, God. I pray right now in the name of Jesus, God, that you would get in the way of every believer, of every individual. Father, I speak even over those that don't believe. Help their unbelief, God, in the name of Jesus, God. I pray for the strength of the fivefold ministry, that you will not faint, that you will not lose your power, and you will not get weary. And the work that we must do right now, God, give us strength from on high to keep praying until we see the evidence in our hands. Father, Holy Spirit, take refuge. Holy Ghost, hallelujah, come in and do what you have to do. We need our miracle. We need our breakthrough. We open open up the doors of opportunity for this earth to be yielded to healing, that the balm of Gilead was set preference in the earthly realm, and that God, every prayer that is offered up from everywhere across these nations, God, that you would hear it and that you would shift it, that you would send every illegal force back to the pit, back where it belongs in the name of Jesus. We say no weapon that has been formed against us shall prosper, and every tongue that rises up against us, God, you shall condemn. God, I thank you for the turnaround. I thank you for the breakthrough. I thank you for the increase. I thank you for the overflow. I thank you that you're moving in ways. You're moving from state to state, county to county, country to country. Hallelujah. You're moving on government officials. You're moving on city officials. You're moving with mayors in the name of Jesus, God. You're moving with pastors, leaders, God. You're moving with those that don't even have to have a title, but do the work, God. We repent unto you. We say we are sorry, God. We're sorry for our wrongful doings. We're sorry for not obeying your 10 commandments and the rest of your commandments that you have set place. God, we ask now that you would show us in the areas that need to be cleaned up, anything that we're holding in our hearts against our brothers and our sisters, anything that we're holding in our hearts against our family members, anything that we're holding in our hearts against people in the name of Jesus that hurt us years ago, and we're still holding on to it. Our childhood hurt. We relinquish it. We release it under the blood of Jesus Christ. Father, I pray in the name of Jesus, anybody that has come against us, God, and we have held all kinds of manners of illegal feelings towards them, God, today wash us clean. Clean us out, God. Destroy the root of bitterness and hatred. Destroy the roots, God, of anything that's in us that is not pleasing in your eyesight, that separates us from your altar, God. Father, restore us in the name of Jesus. Not just parents, restore children. Get them back to your altar again. Holy Ghost, take refuge, God, in the name of Jesus. God, not just with children, grandparents and our neighbors and everybody, God. We pray that your healing will manifest in the name of Jesus. Father, is there anything in the way that we think that you are not pleased with? If there's anything, God, in the way that we handle people, in the way that we speak to people, in the way that we say things to people that have offended people, please forgive us and show us ourselves so that we can clean up our ways, God, that have not been pleasing in your eyesight, God. God, you have us here for a reason. We pray that we do not drop the assignment of the testing of time, God, but we will be fortified. We will be unified. We will be strengthened, God. You will put us back into order again. You are cleaning us up for such a great time. Move by your power divine. Heal, set free, and deliver in the name of Jesus, God. We give you praise. We give you glory. We thank you for WEHA. Heal the owners, God. Heal this land in the name of Jesus. Thank you for allowing us to come on the radio, over the airways, over the byways, God, where countries can come in. Hallelujah. We thank God for Cape Town, Africa. We thank God, hallelujah, for Berlin, Germany. We thank God for all of them that come in, God, from times to be able to hear your word 24 hours a day. Now, Father, hallelujah, I ask that you would send increase to this land in the name of Jesus. Father, I pray for those, hallelujah, that are dealing with situations at home, dealing with their children, God, not understanding what's going on. Father, I pray for unity. I pray for peace. I pray for understanding in the name of Jesus. God, get us out of our ways in the name of Jesus. Move us from the place, hallelujah, of where we are to the place where you can use us for your glory, God. God, stifle the enemy, strangle out the devil that is trying to suffocate us, that's trying to misuse us, that is having us being in any kind of manner, God. Stifle out and strangle out the devil, the hellhounds, the witchful words in the name of Jesus. Every word of negativity that has been sent our way, we send it back to the sender by the blood of Jesus Christ. Lord, this is your temple. This is your country. Hallelujah. In God we trust, God. And I know many times, God, even though it says it on our money, God, hallelujah, we have not used our monies correctly, God. We spent it on any and everything without seeking you first. Some of us haven't even paid our tithes, God. We haven't did some things that we were supposed to do that you said to give. Even if we didn't have tithe money, that was 10% of our time, God, that we could have gave to you, and we didn't give to you. We allowed our flesh to dictate to our promise. And so, God, we're asking, God, well, for forgiving her, that you would shift us, God, that you would get us ready for such a great revival that shall hit this land. Father, I pray in the name of Jesus, God, that you would move by your power divine. Father, I pray in the name of Jesus, God, hallelujah, that you, God, would sit high and look low and see about your saints everywhere. Anywhere that anybody is laying in the bed of affliction, that you would heal them, God. Any doctors, any nurses, any city officials, any officials, essentials, God, that you would give them strength as they're working overtime 24/7, 24 hours in the name of Jesus to make sure that people are good. Father, if they can't find an antidote, you are our healing staff. We pull on you this afternoon. We pull on you every minute, every second, every hour, that you would move by your power divine, God. God, we're praying, God, hallelujah, that every doctor, every nurse be anointed, be appointed. They will hear from you. Every person that is administrating medication will be of you. Let your healing balm of Gilead be in the hospital, be in a nursing home, God. Go into the houses where people are being quarantined, God. Quarantine our spirits from the infections of the evil one. Quarantine our spirits from speaking negative. Quarantine our spirits from doing wrongful things. Quarantine our spirits for thinking wrong, speaking wrong, doing wrong. Quarantine us in the name of Jesus. While we have shut the door, while you have us in there, may your presence subdue us. May your power be upon us in the name of Jesus, God. God, as we're writing, as we're singing, as we're looking in, God, may you get the glory out of our lives in the name of Jesus. We pray unto you today that you would move by your power divine, and that you would heal those, heal their unbelief, God. Hallelujah. God, you are the I am that I am. You are, God. Yeah, you're wherever we need you to be. You're the I am. You are, God. So we need you now. We need you more than we needed you a second ago. We need you now, God. Get into our government. Get into the cabinet of our president, God. Get into our president. Don't let them make any illegal laws, God. In the name of Jesus, don't let them make anything manipulating, holding over our heads, dangling, that will give a lasting impression or give us a lasting thing that we will suffer for in a later time, God. Anything that is given now, we will not suffer under. In the name of Jesus, anything that has been given as a law, God, shall it be satisfying under your will in the name of Jesus. Anything, hallelujah, that is being released, hallelujah, we will not suffer for it at the end of it, God. But God, I thank you for being our Savior. I thank you for moving on our behalf, God. I thank you for turning things around. Hallelujah. God, I plead the blood over the airways, over every household, over my household, over my children, over their children, over the community. Hallelujah. We plead the blood of Jesus. And Father, you said when you see the blood, you'll pass over. So pass over, God, with your glory. Pass over with your anointing. Father, do not leave us. For if you leave us, we're like a ship without a sail, God. We'll have nothing. We'll be nothing. You are our everything, God. We pull on you, God, for a change. We pull on you, God, that you would move swiftly. We pull on you, God, for every place that they build tents and they're making hospitals and they're opening up school systems and opening up different places to lay bodies, God. I decree and I declare that every place they lay a body, I decree it's a place of healing in the name of Jesus. You go before anything is built. Go to the land, saturate the land with your anointing in the name of Jesus, and let there be, hallelujah, healing from on high. Father, I pray in the name of Jesus that you would come and you would come quickly, God. Hallelujah. We need you, God. Hallelujah. I don't know how long it's going to last, God, but that you would give us the strength that we need to endure as a good soldier. Move by your power divine. Yeah, God, move by your power divine, God. Speak, God. Hallelujah. For many of us, we have unclogged our ears. I'm sorry that you had to get us here. I'm sorry that you had to shut everything down in order to get our attention. We repent unto you, God. Hallelujah. Because you said you would have no other gods before you. And some of us, hallelujah, we were so high-minded, thinking that nothing and nobody can touch us. In the name of Jesus, some of us were so snooty, so nasty. Even when we saw our brothers and sisters down downtrodden, going through. Hallelujah. We cast it as it was not our problem, God. We did not seek out humanity when you have told us to go to the highways and the byways to compel men to come, God. Father, forgive us for not doing what we were supposed to do on this earthly realm. And now you have us here, God. Now you have us. And Father, every internet opening, every word, every newscaster in the name of Jesus, may it not take root to our spirit of everything that seems dreary and dim and downing, God, that you would lift our spirits to pray against what we see, pray against what they're saying, God. God, when they're saying over 2,000 or 200,000 people are laying dead or shall lay dead, I decree and I declare with others around this world, God, that 200 and something thousand people shall lay healed, shall lay delivered, and shall lay set free, God. I decree, God, hallelujah, that the houses will have more than enough, God. I decree that our lands are healed. I decree that the doorpost is covered. I decree that wherever we go, hallelujah, you shall be, you shall abide, and you shall rule in the name of Jesus. You are the great I am, and we worship you. We worship you in the spirit. We worship you in the truth. You are the one God. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Total giving you thanks and praise today. I'm sorry, Father, that we had to get here. Hallelujah. But it's all in your plan. Your plan is right, God. Hallelujah. And we're here now. We might as well fulfill the assignments the best way we know how. Hallelujah. Thank you for bringing families together. Thank you for allowing us, God. Even some of us, we had clothes in our closets, and we wouldn't even give them over, hallelujah, to people. We wouldn't even give them over, God, to places, and we would just throw them in the trash when we knew our brothers and our sisters needed something to wear, God. And some of us, now we're home and we're cleaning out our houses, God. We're cleaning out places in the name of Jesus to where we're able to bless somebody else, God. Because we're blessed, help us to bless somebody else. Show us where to go to leave a package on the door of food. Show us where to go to help pay somebody's electric bill and pay this and get this right. Show us how to handle our monies, God, because you have called us to be wealthy people. But if we are not doing right by our monies, hallelujah, we have been crying from the areas of defeatedness because we did not do right as you have showed us to do right with our monies, God, to do right with what you have given us. And now we're in this place, God. Teach us how to save our money. You're teaching us how to save our money. Everything is shut down. Only thing is that we can do off the internet and buy, God, but even take the desires of us buying and purchasing off the internet. Just get the essential things that we need so that when this is lifted, we'll have more than enough in our cupboard. We'll have more than enough, hallelujah, in the bank account, and the struggle will be over. I decree it, I declare, hallelujah, that we are living in a wealthy place. One person just ain't wealthy, we all are wealthy. One person just ain't healed, we all are healed. One person just ain't delivered, we all are delivered. In the name of Jesus, I thank you. For you are great, and you are greatly to be praised. There is nobody like Jehovah, and we thank you. Hallelujah. Oh, God, we praise you right now. Hallelujah. We give you glory. We give you honor. We thank you for the time of testing in the name of Jesus. For you are great, and you're greatly to be praised. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen and amen. I want you now, do not get off of this live or go away from us. Stay tuned. I want you to listen in to PJ Morton now, all in his plan.
Can I be honest? Sometimes I don't understand. Why
right, all right, all right. That was PJ Morton, all in his plan. All of this, everything that we're going through is in his plan. It's in his plan. Listen, if he put us in it, he's already made a way of escape. Hold on. Go in, shut the door. Hallelujah. Go in, shut the door, and watch God move for you. Watch God. I'll let you know. Watch God move for you. This is Evangelist Laniel right here on WEHA. We have gospel. We are Christ-centered, community-focused, listener-supported radio station. 88.7 FM, 100.3 FM in Atlantic City. Listen, if you are enjoying these prayer segments, I need sponsors. I need somebody to go and hit that donation button on Facebook, on the WEHA page, or go to www.wehavegospel.com, hit that donation, or come to 3 Canali Drive, be a sponsor. This is a 501c3. We're a nonprofit organization, and all of what you sit in keeps these radio stations going. Keep this radio station going. Keep every segment going. I will be here on tomorrow. Hallelujah. I will be here on tomorrow. I will be here on tomorrow at 12 noon again. All this week, 12 noon again. As the Lord says so. As he gives us strength to keep coming, we will be here at 12 noon and at midnight. Somebody say midnight. They said Paul and Silas, but I'm going to say Laniel or Evangelist Laniel or whoever. We're going to pray, and every man's bands will be loose, all right? We're going to step in to the blood flow of God. Don't you get weary in well-doing, for in due season you're going to reap if you faint not. I decree and I declare that the strength of the Lord be amongst us, and that the glory of the Lord will rise amongst us. I'll see you tomorrow. Be blessed until we meet again.
Hawks, a name that has been trusted for almost 30 years in the janitorial services industry, is proud to present Hawks Professional Moving Services. Fully insured, local and long distance, packing services, commercial and residential, no job too small or too large, friendly and reliable services. For more information or a free estimate, 609-484-0452. Hawks Professional Moving Services, where we treat your belongings like our own.
Hello, I'm George C.
Hi, I'm Professor J.
You know why I like listening to gospel on the radio? It's easy. You turn it on, turn up the volume, and you have gospel.
Listening in the car is cool, I guess, but I'm more into listening from my computer. I just type in the website, and I have gospel.
So whether you listen to gospel on the radio, on 88.7 FM, WEHA,
or on your computer on www.wehavegospel.com.
We have gospel.
So check out our new website, wehavegospel.com.
Question is, will I ever leave you? The answer is no. No, 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 no. Question is, will I ever leave you? The answer is no. No, 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 no. Oh, I love the Lord, for He's so dear to me. And oh, He died that I might be free. I was asked this question years ago, and the answer is still no. Now the question is, will I do His will? And it's yeah, yeah, yeah. Whoa, yeah. I was at home late one night, sacrifice, and all I'm gonna do is the will of Christ. I was asked this question, and the answer is yes. Question is, when will Jesus return? I want you to know. Soon, 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 yeah, soon. Look at the crisis in Iran. Russia's already invaded Afghanistan. It's falling insane. It's coming soon. Oh, yeah. Oh, but I can hardly wait for Jesus to return. And for his returning, my heart does yearn. I was asked this question, and the answer is real soon. Now the questions are, will I ever leave you? Will I do your will? When will Jesus return? No. And yes. And soon. Yeah. Soon. Yeah. Soon. Will I ever leave you? Will I do your will? When will Jesus return? And the answer, oh yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Soon, soon, soon. If you've questioned when Christ is coming, the answer is soon.
Which art in heaven,
88.7 WEHA. It's more than music. It's ministry.
WEHA, Port Republic, Atlantic City. And now on FM Translator 100.3 W262CF, Atlantic
What's
City.
the difference between going to AtlantiCare's Comprehensive Stroke Center and going anywhere else? It's the difference between watching your grandkid ride a bike and teaching him how to ride. It's the difference between seeing your daughter get married and walking her down the aisle. It's the difference between losing what you love and living for it. When it comes to treating stroke, the difference between going anywhere else and going to AtlantiCare is everything. We're the only healthcare program with a neurocritical care team available 24/7. We have a diagnostic neuroimaging lab, and our neurosurgeons are always ready to operate if needed. And we meet the toughest standards to be a designated comprehensive stroke center. Why are we offering world-class stroke care right here?
Mrs. Thomas, your husband is in the right hands.
Because the difference is worth it. To see the difference, visit atlanticare.org/strokecare.
Would you like to hear your company or church announcements or church broadcast on the airwaves of WHA? You can call our business office at 609-641-8870 for further details.
Let's do this. My healer, What's up, DC?
Well, you know, I said I wasn't gonna tell nobody, but I couldn't keep it to myself. Oh, I couldn't keep it to myself.